I'm sure, they've had these similar objections, so we'll see what they came up with.
Yeah, so we have a motion, okay, last one.
Right, yeah,
Trustee
just
Desmond.
one last, just to give you an example of what we're talking about. I mean, I called to postpone the changes to the building ordinance. I mean, this is a huge package that we do need to discuss, and we need to ask, fire department, building, public works, the building inspectors, what exactly it is they're asking us to change. So, I mean, that is just an example of what we should be discussing in these meetings.
Madam Mayor?
Okay, so,
Madam Mayor? just a
last one,
quick comment.
and I mean it this time.
Sorry, hold a minute. That's a great example Tim brought up.
Right.
Another great example where we need to, be some interaction with staff and we have questions to vote on something that's going to make a difference, We're well-informed and we're vetting it, all of us together.
Great.
So it's not going to be, this is going to be more of an opportunity where we're vetting something with all of us, not a couple of us or one of us, it's all of us. So, the more I think about it, I think it's going to be more transparent.
Okay, please call the vote. Thank
Trustee
you.
Quinlan?
Is this?
Motion to postpone till next time.
Okay, yes. Got where we were
Trustee
again.
Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strike?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, 16. This is Guzman and Lopez Release and Settlement Agreement. May I have a motion, please, on item 16?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Warder,
Second.
seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion on this item? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strike?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to item 17.
Okay.
Village Clerk's Report.
Disbursement Resolution Number 2014-02. Approval of semi-monthly disbursement Number 2014-02 dated January 28th, 2014, in the amount of $555,081.77.
May I have a motion, please, on item 17A?
Motion to pay the bills, Madam President.
Properly
Second.
moved by trustee Warder, seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Strike?
Yes.
One more little thing, Mayor. The gubernatorial primary election will be held on Tuesday, March 18th. Early voting begins at the Oak Lawn Village Hall, March 3rd, and continues every day through March 15th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the last day to register to vote in the Oak Lawn Clerk's office is February 18th. If you have any questions, just contact me at the Village Hall. Thank you. That's it.
Great. Okay. Item 18, Village President's Report. 18A is a request to approve a Class F liquor license. This is restaurant, beer and wine only for Oak Lawn Restaurant, 5769 West 95th Street in District 3. May I have a motion, please, on 18A?
Move
Motion
for
to-
approval.
Second.
Properly moved by trustee Strite, seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion, please, on this item?
I may have a conflict of interest. My family eats there every Sunday after church, so I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that.
Well, now you can get a beer as well.
You have no conflict.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Trustee Warder.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out this is another example of expansion of gambling. This is a family restaurant that's looking for a liquor license, I'm sure, to put in machines. Just want to make that point.
I don't know if they can get it with beer and wine only.
I think they
If
can.
they pour, they can.
Yeah.
That's the understanding, yeah.
Good.
Trustee Desmond.
Just to reiterate what you were saying, sorry, but this is exactly the type of business that I believe that the previous board passed this gambling to assist these types of long-established businesses in Oak Lawn.
Tim, I'm going to vote for it, but I just want to point out what's happening here.
Any other discussion on this item? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Straight?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to 18B, this is ordinance 1402-10, an ordinance increasing the number of Class F liquor licenses that can be issued in the Village of Oak Lawn. This is for Oak Lawn Restaurant Incorporated, 5769 West 95th Street. May I have a motion on 18B, please?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Vorderer,
Second.
seconded by trustee Oliniechek. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Straight?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 18C is the Planning and Development Commission Advisory Panel appointments. As you may recall, we elected, or appointed, excuse me, a chair for this advisory panel at the last meeting. We requested names to be submitted. My two recommendations for appointment is from District 1, Rita Olson, and from District 4, John Crivellone. We're going to vote on these individually. Let's have a motion, please, for Rita Olson in District 1.
Motion approved.
Properly moved by trustee Oliniechek.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion on this item? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Straight?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Great. And 18C still, we have the name John Crivellone from District 4. May I have a motion, please, for his appointment?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by
Second.
trustee Vorderer, seconded by trustee Oliniechek. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Straight?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 18D is the appointment of adjudicator and counsel for Police and Fire Commission, and this is Odelson and Stirk Limited. May I have a motion, please, on item 18D?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Vorderer.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Oliniechek. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, trustee Straight first, then trustee Quinlan.
Well, first of all, two adjudicator positions were originally held by two individual attorneys until this board, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, followed the Phelan hit list and fired the two attorneys who were serving us well. Instead, the village manager appointed the prosecutor to this position after he provided 10 campaign workers to the mayor's campaign. That was wrong, and we all know it was wrong. But this action tonight doesn't fix the problem associated with the Cunningham appointment. We still have an appointment here without the request, without a request for proposals or request for qualifications. We have a no-bid contract to Bert Odelson, who donated $4,300 to Mayor Barry and sent a letter to all of the voters supporting her and attacking the previous mayor. This board campaigned, apparently they forgot about this, but they campaigned on a promise to comprehensive ethics reform, including an end to rigged bids, backroom deals, and sweetheart contracts. This board campaigned on a promise to serve with honesty, integrity, and 100% transparency. In my opinion, we aren't being transparent or ethical when we give a no-bid contract without any RFP being issued to a campaign contributor who donated $4,300 to the mayor's campaign.
Okay, I'm gonna go next, actually. Trustee Straight, you make me crazy. You talk about someone who volunteered to write a letter I did not solicit, like it's something evil. That's not correct. It is not something evil. You failed to mention contributions from both Mr. Cunningham and Mr. Odelson to you. And these are contributions you personally solicited. It's crazy. 2009, 2010, 2011, Mr. Cunningham donated money. You've never disclosed that. Yet, and no, I'm going to talk.
I don't have to disclose it. There's no
You don't.
violation, Mayor.
You don't. Trustee
not a
Straight,
violation.
I'm talking.
Okay.
You talk about someone who walked the streets for change as if it's something evil. It's not. And soliciting money.
There's
from-
no change.
From
You're not change.
Trustee Straight? Silent, please. You solicited contributions from Mr. Odelson in 2010, 2011, twice in 2011. You did not disclose this, and yet you berate someone for a letter that was not solicited and was properly disclosed. It's inappropriate, and I'm going to give the floor
I'm
to
not
Trustee
berating
Quinlan.
Mr. Odelson. I'm berating you.
Trustee Straight, Carol?
I just think, kind of in a lot in agreement with what Trustee Stride is saying. I think what really bothers me, it really bothers me, is that this is no bid. And let's say, if our attorneys are saying this is totally legal, what we're doing, a no bid contract, giving it to a big campaign contributor, I would say, and warn this board and say, you know what? There is something about appearances. And I think it appears that this is wrong. And I would think that a lot of residents think it's flat out wrong. Why wouldn't you even at least attempt to bring in two other attorneys into the mix? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Again, it's about the process.
Well-
and Oak Lawn, we should put ourselves at the top
We are.
top of the bar. So why are we doing this when we are saying money was exchanged, given to you, given to Jane?
There was no money given
and
to
Jane's
me.
not a voting member, so
Don't bring me up, I'm not a voter on it.
that's what I just said. You're not, but you are on this board.
telling
And
Bob.
so my point being is we need to set the bar
That I
higher in saying it's not okay that we are just handing this to one of the most political attorneys out there.
Well,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
we-
Madam Mayor, when I get a
that.
chance, I'd like
No, we
to,
have Trustee
it's-
Border, then Trustee Carberry, then Trustee Oliniechek,
Why
then I'm
put
going.
ourselves-
Trustee Border.
Yeah,
in that
first off,
situation.
I'd like to point out that Bert Olson has been a resident of Oak Lawn for as long as I can remember, 40-plus years. He lives in my district, okay? He has been active in Oak Lawn politics. He has every right to support a candidate and donate money. And he donated none to me, and I'm going to vote for this. He's been a powerful attorney for the good, and I think bringing him on board is a positive.
you
That's
know,
all I
Okay,
have
I
to
think
say.
we're Trustee Carberry.
that's the only thing I wanted to say too, is he didn't give me any money as well. I want that for the record. No, I'm kidding. But there's you know, a friend of mine gave me a book a few weeks ago that I shared with a couple of the new trustees, with Desmond and Vorderer. And it's an excellent book for newly elected officials. And and it makes a lot of great points. And now that I read the book, I see a lot of the things in action because the guy's done it a long time. He's been a village attorney in over 50, similar to Bert. He's been in the game for years. And there's one thing I could say. I think it's a pretty cheap way to be able to use somebody who's been in the game for so long as a resource. He's offered his services that way to me, and I'm sure he may have done that to any of the other trustees for free. And it's another resource, just like we have Paul and our attorneys for a resource, and Pat, and they do a great job for us. He's another resource and a resident. Like Terry said, it's been here a long time. I don't. It's not a. We're not giving him a 4-year It's not a 4-year contract, and if he's not doing the job, he can go. But this isn't. I don't see a big. I don't see this being a big, lucrative contract for.
It's not that, it's
Odelson.
about
Okay.
appearance.
Madam Mayor?
Trustee Oliniechek.
I think, did you question his experience level and his ability to do the job?
I did not.
I thought I heard that. That's kind of funny because you,
Qualifications.
when I was a junior trustee, now I'm a senior trustee with you, you are the one who introduced me to Bert Odelson and recommended him as one of the best municipal attorneys in the city of Chicago and maybe in the whole state of Illinois. Your words exactly. Now, I'm just confused that we want the best for the village of Oak Lawn. It's not, Larry, this is not costing us any more money, is it?
Probably a little less.
Costing us less money, and that's what we owe the taxpayers is, if we have relationships with people, we are here to try to do the best deal that we can, get the best people. Actually, I think we've done a great job by getting Bert to be able to do the adjudication as one of the premier lawyers in the state of Illinois, but here's one of the other things. He's been doing it while we were going through this whole legal discussion about if Mr. Cunningham could do it or not. He was being employed contractually by Mr. Cunningham in his ability to do that. So he's been doing the work for less money than we were paying in the previous year. And you remember when this whole thing started out, I know you're going to want to say it's political and it has to do with fundraising and this and that. I mean, I know for a fact you did Bert Odelson's roof, so you were making money off of doing his roof. And you may even do some of his energy aggregation. So if anybody here at this board has anything to get out of the deal, it's you. I don't understand why you don't have a conflict of interest with that. But moving forward, I look at it's saving the residents of the village of Oak Lawn money. It's getting a job done with a quality attorney, known entity. And I just wish, Bob, you could be a great person to work with if you got out of this whole thing. It's a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy, and people are trying to undermine and do bad things for the village. This clearly is an example of no conspiracy. We're doing well for the village of Oak Lawn.
All I said, I
Okay,
didn't say
and
that he
trustee
wasn't.
Desmond is next, actually, and then I'll call on you, trustee
Thank you.
Straight.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on pretty much what everyone else has said. You know, the board, I mean, we should not be questioning in any way Mr. Odelson's credentials, and I'm surprised that someone of his experience and stature would even, you know, consider, you know, coming to the village of Oak Lawn. Yeah.
Okay,
I think we
trustee,
should be grateful that he's actually accepting this position.
trustee Straight.
The point that I made is I did not question his qualifications. What I questioned was why we did not do a request for proposals or request for qualifications and have an open bidding process. This is a no-bid contract. Now,
It's an appointed position.
Trustee Carberry did say that Bert Odelson is so wonderful, he's been offering his services for free to the trustees. And I would just like to know if you would like to elaborate on that a little bit.
What do you mean?
You
Elaborate on
said
what?
he's been offering his services.
He
for
said, no,
free.
no. He said he's been, just like a lot of people, all public officials, Bob, anybody that's been in the game in politics for a long period of time, they have experience in budgets. They have experience in running municipalities. People they share best practices. These are smart things to do. Companies do them. Politicians should do them. And that's it, sharing information. He said, feel free to call on anything that comes up. It's a resource.
Yeah, but that's
a resource.
You got to be
Skill and
careful.
intent.
You got to be careful what you say to Bob, because it could. I mean, Bob's not going to tell you that his business partner Dennis Brennan got a $500 donation.
Yeah, I don't
from
want to
him.
go in.
Okay,
But
Mayor-
I'm
Mayor,
just
one other thing.
concerned. I'm just concerned with the way that it's picked and choose, and trying to make something that's very transparent, very legal. It's an appointment that this board has a right to go ahead and appoint. That is saving the village money. That's what we will have to live with. Fact. Over a previous year of what it cost for us in service.
Yeah, and last comment before we call the vote. I seem to remember a discussion, and I apologize, I could not look up the minutes for the exact quote, ran out of time, but I remember trustee Straight, you arguing very eloquently how for professional services, you want the best. And sometimes getting the cheapest isn't the best. So when you say send it out for bid, that was something that you were saying quite the opposite, not
Well,
even
wait,
a year ago.
You're right, I
so.
did say that, but what you said is that you're going to, when you ran for election, you said, I'm going to put an end to no-bid contracts, backroom deals, and sweetheart deals, sweetheart
correct.
contracts.
That's why we're
So you didn't
discussing it
put
at
an
a
end to
public
that at
meeting.
all,
That's
at
your
all.
opinion.
So,
There's no
Thank you for your
sweetheart.
opinion, we're calling the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
With great pride, yes.
Trustee Streit?
no.
Motion passes 4-2. And I just have one comment, Madam Mayor. I've known Bert Odelson from the neighborhood in Oak Lawn for over 40 years. He played softball at Lawn Manor. He's friends with so many people in Oak Lawn. He's coached baseball for years, so give him a little credit on that, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, general village matters. I do have a few items, and I apologize. I want to say them all. The Emergency Management Agency of Oak Lawn is doing a free CPR class for residents. This is a 90-minute class. It's the Saturday of Valentine's Day weekend. That's Saturday, February 15th. Save a heart, save a life, show you care. Parents, if you have babysitters and you want them to learn CPR, young parents, if you want to learn CPR, any interested resident. We all might need CPR if this meeting goes on a little longer, but, anyway, you can register for that course on the village website. There's a link, and there's a link also on the village Facebook page. So nice to do that. With respect to snow shoveling, we talked a lot about plowing last time. We're getting a lot of complaints now about businesses up and down 95th Street not plowing, not shoveling. In particular, children who are forced to walk down 95th on the way to school. District 122, as you know, is right at 95th and Ridgeland there. The kids have to walk on 95th, and that is certainly dangerous. We saw a family who lost one of their children, in our public comments section. We don't want more tragedies in Oak Lawn. Everyone has to do their share on this. Please, business owners, shovel, and residents also, if you have a sidewalk, please make sure it's accessible. Condos as well. We're getting quite a few complaints, and it's difficult. I just want to make a comment. Trustee Straight, I appreciate that you are calling for emails for, a community newsletter. I still feel, and Chief Murray and I are both in agreement, that if someone wants alerts regarding criminal activity in their neighborhood, that should come from Everbridge. Our Everbridge system is easy to sign up. And Trustee Straight, I hope you would take the lead in registering your residents for that. I would hate to see someone relying on an email and thinking that they're safe when they're missing out an important alert on Everbridge. So please don't overlook that. It's very important.
Let's not forget that only 10%, using your own words, of the residents are signed up for Everbridge.
That's why
So-
we need your help doing that. So your call for personal emails, I'm certain you would never do anything inappropriate with those emails. However, please remember, we do want Everbridge to be our primary method of communication for,
I hope you're not
Thank you.
discouraging me from alerting the residents
Trustee
on how
Straight,
to be
I'm just
safe.
saying what I'm saying.
After 28 years, I commend you. You're
So
finally doing it.
I think that's all I'm going to say. We need a motion now on item, 19. This is a motion to go into an executive session, 2014-01, for the purpose of probable or imminent litigation, and 2, for the purchase or lease of real property. May I have a motion, please, on
motion.
item 19? Properly moved by Trustee Carberry.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
No. Just kidding, yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Straight?
Okay, thank you.
Passes.
So we're going to clear out the room